During the 16 Days of Action 2022 campaign,
GOSA Girls on Fire and Tech Shack Tactical TV interview ordinary but outstanding women.
Hashtag I am every woman.
In our interviews, we honor outstanding businesswomen who have made a difference in their specific sphere of society to ladies who have overcome horrific gender-based violence incidences.
We believe in action, not activism.
Why are women continually cast as helpless victims?
Bystanders to their own fate, presuming that victimhood is a fait accompli. We are not simply deer in the headlights of gender-based violence.
We can and will stand up for ourselves.
We are not second-class citizens who need special days and men standing up for us.
We say no more.
Activism does not change the minds of predators.
Predators will always be predators, waiting in the dark to claim their victims. Standing on street corners with placards saying that we are against gender-based violence has and never alone make a difference. Take action now, not to be a victim, and be a strong woman. Do not put your trust in anybody else except yourself. Take the example from the strong women in these interviews and be a warrior. Hashtag victim no longer.
Lynette Oxley here for Tech Shack Tactical TV. I'm speaking to Jane, not a real name, for the GOSA Girls on Fire 16 Days of Action for No Violence Against Women and Children. Welcome, Jane. I know it's not easy for you to talk to us, but welcome.
Thank you so much, Lynette.
You are currently in an abusive relationship which you're getting out of. Can you tell me your story?
Well, let me just correct you there. I managed to get out with my life, luckily. I think in society we don't discuss different types of abuses enough. It's always domestic abuse that's always addressed, but abuse comes in many forms. With me, it started with emotional abuse, where there was a lot of gaslighting, constantly made to feel as if everything is my fault, being manipulated in my relationship. And then it eventually became verbal abuse, where whenever there was an argument or a disagreement, there would be the manipulation still, the gaslighting, and being called all sorts of names. Until I one day found myself being strangled by my then husband against a wall and basically fighting for my life. And that's where the domestic violence came in. So it escalated for over a couple of years before it got to almost losing my life to my partner.
This is very hard. We all start out in relationships with this. You love the person. You don't just go into a relationship because you don't love this person. And suddenly this person changes and they treat you as something less than what you're worth. And then in the end, I'm sure you feel that you're not worth being there. It makes you less than what you are. What made you decide to actually I know obviously there was the physical abuse that came through, but was it easy to make that decision to get out of the situation?
To be honest with you, it's not an easy decision. Even after I got out, there were times I would ask myself if that is really what I wanted. There was a point where I felt maybe things can be fixed, maybe things can be salvaged. But obviously it did not happen like that. I realized, and going against everything that my family had said, I had no family support. And of course the family is always trying to fix things and fix you and make you think that if you did certain things, definitely the outcome would have been different. But I realized that I still needed to live not just for myself, but for my son. And that is what I reminded myself of, that I am also deserving of being on earth of being alive. And learning that the way I am being treated shows me that this person does not respect me nor love me. And I have to say, for me, it was the biggest betrayal. I hear some women will say cheating is the biggest betrayal, but when the man who is supposed to be your protector is the one that is hurting you, for me, that was the biggest betrayal, because he did not think of our son at that point, and it was just about his anger and his rage. So I quickly realized that I almost lost my life, and there's a high chance that if I do not get out, it will actually happen. So it took a lot from me. It took a lot of going against everything that my family said, his family said, everybody said, and choosing myself and choosing to be alive for my son.
You need to live for yourself, not for anybody else. And part of what we as GOSA Girls on Fire says is nobody else is going to help you. You need to help yourself, and you are on the way there. So you are stronger than you actually think that you are. Did you get support anywhere else, or was it all by yourself?
In the beginning, it was all by myself. I started looking for a flat while I was living in a marital home. I think I made a lot of decisions, and I even went as far as seeing a psychologist before going and making that decision, because I felt that I was drowning. Nobody was listening to me. Everybody was making it seem as if I'm overreacting. So I had nobody, honestly. It took a while for my family to come around and to actually offer me some assistance. And, you can have friends, but it was during a very difficult, hard lockdown in South Africa and a difficult time for a lot of people. So I barely had any support. I left the house with my clothes, and I left everything in the house, and just took a few items just to get me started off. But I've had to work my way through the situation myself over the past year and a half with no assistance until I think late last year. That's when my family started coming to the party and started being supportive. But it was a bit of a long road. But I tried to get myself mental assistance, because I think for me that was the most important, because I'd lost so much of myself in the relationship, in the marriage, and being a mother. I had lost so much of myself, and I needed myself at this point to get out of the situation, because like you said, nobody's going to do it for you. So you have to do it yourself.
I'm glad you are getting the support now. Do you think, when did you know in your relationship that this man is not what he seemed when you got into the relationship with him? And do you think that hard lockdown changed things? Because I think it made things much harder for people that's never been in each other's spaces. It made it worse, or did it make it worse?
So I think we always know the signs. We've always seen the signs. We just ignore the signs because we hope things will change, or that person will change, or if we act a certain way, that person will change, or love you more, or give you more attention.
I'm here with Kea. We have spoken before.
Yes.
She's one of our recipients for our Fighting Spirit Award. Kea, your experience with guns and your experience what's happened today, do you think that guns are empowering, and where did your thoughts come from?
To be honest with you, growing up in Soweto, you are surrounded by guns, and every time you think of a gun, you're associated with criminals. I mean, I've seen someone actually get shot in front of me, so I've always had a huge fear of guns. And today was an empowering experience, to be honest with you. I saw a different side of guns, you could say, especially with the society we live in now, and the need to protect yourself due to the amount of crime that we're experiencing as a country. I found, like I said, a very different side to guns. Today for me was very empowering, like I said. I would encourage more women to actually try and attend such events for themselves, to empower themselves. Yeah, it was a great experience. Would I do it again? Definitely.
Hopefully next time you'll shoot the event.
Definitely. I'd love to. Today just watching, empowered me just from watching. So you can imagine next time being able to participate, what that would do for me. I think it would give me another level of confidence.
So guns are not just about self-protection. You saw that today. We looked at a lot of different sport shooting disciplines today. And that is the fun side of guns. It's actually competing and hitting some steel. It's a different thing. It's not just self-defense. It's more than that as well.
It definitely was an amazing experience.
And what did you think of our lady range officers? Some of them started where you are today. That's where they started, and now they're actually running my ranges for me.
I mean, wow, having women having so much power for me, was a new experience. You always see women portrayed in very meek, mannerism. But today I saw a different side of women. I saw women who were strong, who were confident, So it was a great experience. And having women, usually the women that you would see, I would say, with guns are your policemen or your people that work in the GMPD. But today you had ordinary women who look just like me, having guns, and shooting.
That's why I always, one of my mottos are, I'm every woman. You don't need to be a policeman. We had young ladies, very young ladies, 11 years old, and we had older ladies that was in the late, in the 70s.
It was.
And you don't need to be strong or anything. Everybody can shoot guns and have fun.
It definitely was fun. That I can say.
Absolutely. And anyway, good luck for your future, and we'll see you tonight.
Thank you so much for the opportunity and for the invitation. I really enjoyed myself, and I definitely will be coming back.
And hopefully in the future you'll be one of my ladies that's going to come and help at the events.
Definitely.
Just like Tabi said, Tabi.
Definitely.
Tabi started off with you today, and today she was helping. So that's what's empowering.
Definitely. I would love to do that.
Thank you very much, Kea.
Thank you, Lynette.
Okay, see you tonight.
Okay, babe.
Okay,
bye.
Cheers.
Lynette Oxley here for Tac Shack Tactical TV and GOSA Girls on Fire 16 Days of Action for No Violence Against Women and Children. I'm here with Kea, and we're talking face to face this time. I spoke to Kea last year. What an amazing journey for you. And she was also the second prize winner for us this year for Fighting Spirit.
Yes, I was.
So she actually won a gun. So she needs to come and do a competency.
I'm still going to do that.
Absolutely.
Hopefully this December I get it done and sorted, because that's the only time I have at this point.
Tabi is doing it
as we
end
speak,
of this month.
Yeah, she did say.
Which is great. Yeah. Tell me a little bit about yourself outside of the other story. Who are you?
Where do I even start? 35-year-old mom who has come a long way, who has been through various types of abuse and who has come out victorious. I think that's me.
That's you. What happened to you? Why were you in such a bad way? Can you just summarize it for last year when I spoke to you? You couldn't even show your face. You couldn't speak to me. We might actually include stuff because it's such an empowering journey that you've gone on.
To be honest with you, it was a mixture of emotions. There was an element of fear. There was an element of embarrassment. There was an element of what would people think, what would people say. But at this point, I've gotten through that in various ways, in realizing that I have the power to change my life. And for the first time, I think I really have the control over my life at this point. But at that point, I really wasn't in a good space.
Tell us a little bit about, to just recap what happened to you. Why was it such, why it was a variety of stuff that happened to you.
Yeah. I think we always view, or let me not say we always, abuse is viewed as violent most of the time. People don't understand that abuse comes in various forms, and it's a build-up. My story, exactly that, a build-up. I got married at a young age, and from that it started first with, I think it was verbal abuse. There was an element of emotional abuse, but at that time, Lynette, you don't see it happening to you.
You're too close.
You're too close, you know. You look at certain things that your partner does and you think it's out of love. Oh, they love me so much.
Exactly.
That's why they're doing that.
And they're looking after you.
He's looking after me. He doesn't want me driving by myself.
Excuse me.
He doesn't want me doing this. He doesn't want me doing that. And you think it's love. And you don't realize that actually there's an element of manipulation, there's an element of control there.
Absolutely.
And that's where we get it wrong. But I think for me, my final straw was when I found myself pinned against the wall with my partner's hand right on my neck, basically being strangled. And I remember at that point, one of the things that I thought of was, I don't want to be a statistic. That's what I kept saying to myself in my head. I don't know where the adrenaline came from to fight back, to finally fight him off and go and lock myself in the bedroom, but I managed to do it. And all because I just kept thinking, I can't be a statistic. I'm one of those people that's always has an opinion when it comes to women abuse, but when it happens to you, you don't see it.
And that's what I get out of a lot of the interviews it's the same, and it's the same person that abuses the women as well. It's the same story over and over and over again.
Exactly.
While you're in the situation, you don't see it.
No, you don't see it. You don't even realize that it's happening to you.
Those little things that you keep losing, and then in the end,
you finally lose yourself.
Absolutely.
And almost your life at times.
So yeah, we've sat here and talked, and I mentioned a couple of times when I spoke to Gerard Labuskaghni, which I think you've met at our previous event.
Yes.
And he said that in an abusive relationship, you're not going to be able to fix the person.
No.
There is no fixing of that person.
No.
And if you leave it long enough, you're going to end up dead. And that is just the way things happen.
Unfortunately.
You have a child, and must have influenced him as well.
I mean,
or was he sheltered from it at least?
He was sheltered from it, and again, like I said, you don't realize it's happening. And when it happens, now that I'm on the outside, I'm able to see and count various situations where you could say there were elements of abusive nature that could be spotted that I couldn't spot at the time.
Your red flags.
My red flags, which I didn't see. So our son was very sheltered from it, and it would often happen either at night when he's sleeping, or when he's not around on a weekend. Then there would be some verbal abuse. There'd be screaming, basically swearing at me, etc. And like I said, it escalated as time went on.
And you left with nothing? And?
Nothing at all. I'm still going through my divorce process. 2 years later, I'm still going through my divorce process. I'm hoping it will end at some point. But yeah, I've had to restart my life again, basically.
But you restored it well. The lady that I spoke to last year this time about, and the lady that organized the boss lady at Disoufeng earlier this year, not the same person.
Two different people.
I looked at you and I couldn't see that person. How did you do this? By making, what did you do? Because I'm so proud of you. I hope we had a small part in it as Girls on Fire, and it's just, you're an empowered woman, and you were not even close to anything that was broken. You're just a new person.
I think a lot of therapy helped, addressing the issue head on. And I know this is a cliche, but forgiving myself for not seeing, for seeing the red flags, let me put it like that, because we do see them, but we choose to ignore them and we tend to think things will get better. They don't. It gets far worse. And I had to, there's a lot of self-introspection that I also had to do. And I'm going to be honest with you, it's not easy. There are good days, there are bad days. The bad days are really bad and the good days are really good. But having a vision that you will get out of it is what really helped me, because I had to pick myself up. I have an 11-year-old, and I would be honest with him and I'll say, Mommy's not having a good day today. And I'd sit in my bedroom and literally cry all day. But you need to go through all your emotions in order for you to be able to pick yourself up again. You need to go through every emotion, experience every feeling so that you are able to move on. It's not easy, like I said. It's a continuous battle. It's a battle every single day.
It's not a walk in the park.
It's not. Sometimes you can't get out of bed. And it's okay.
It's okay.
It really is okay.
Well, I've got such admiration for you, because the thing that you organised for Women's Day was absolutely awesome. So, yeah, you've come such a far way. Of all of the people that I've ever spoken to, you've really, really come a far way.
And honestly, in terms of the event, I sat and I thought, what is it that I needed someone to sit down and tell me, or some advice that I needed someone to give me? And Girls on Fire did definitely play a huge role in that, because after the event, I said to you, you know, Lynette, there was a time when we were singing, and and part of the song said, I'm no longer...
I'm not a victim.
I'm not a victim.
I've got a voice and I've got a choice.
And that that stuck with me, and I still get emotional thinking about it.
I still get emotional when I hear the song, because it's such strong words, and
that's
I believe
the thing.
in it.
And I remember saying to you, Lynette, for the first time, I actually feel that I am no longer a victim.
You did say that to me that night.
I said it to you that night. Yeah. I said, for the first time, I'm able to feel it and I'm able to voice it and say I am no longer a victim. And it's helped me a lot, because again, like I said, the inspiration behind the event was, what is it that I feel I needed and need, and what I wish somebody would have sat down and told me, you know? Very often we don't, especially as women, we are viewed as weak, we are very disempowered. Our country still has a very long way to go.
Absolutely. And
when you said you have to be your first respondent, I sat and I thought, I live by myself. If something had to happen, no one would know.
No, and the police and your security company is
exactly. And I thought, what am I going to do should somebody come into my house, should something happen? What am I going to do? And being my first respondent at that point is the only option.
You can only, you and the perpetrator, you're the only ones
We are the only ones there.
And your child, which you also...
situation, yes.
And he's now starting to get into an age group that he can actually start learning to shoot. So we do have that event on the 10th of December, when this 16 days of action stops. So hopefully you will bring him with.
I would love to. I mean, he has asked. He saw my compliance training manual and he said, "Mommy, are you getting a gun?" I said, "Yeah, I'm thinking of getting one." And he said, "Oh, that's so cool."
You know, you do have one.
He doesn't have one. He doesn't know I have one, but let's keep it at that. But I would love to bring him, because I think it's very important that we do bring a different view to children about guns, because they're mostly associated with criminals and police, etc., but not as something to use for protection. So I would love to
and
do
also
that.
for sport shooting. So the Gun Buddies program is we're going to have some air rifles there, and air rifles and air pistols, and we're going to have a sing-along for the Gun Buddies song for the younger children, and we'll have this the storybook and stuff like that. So
it would be great, actually. I think you would love to attend. Well, I believe so. From the spark of interest I've seen from it.
That will be great. Your message out for ladies out there that needs change in their lives too. What will you say to them?
Honestly, you're not on your own. That's what I'm going to say. You are really not on your own. You might feel alone in your situation, but you're the only one that can change it at the same time. And once you make that decision for yourself, don't turn back. There are people who will support you. There are organizations like GOSA that will support you. Girls on Fire is there. I mean, I've met incredible women, including yourself. I've met Neo. You know,
she's such an empowering woman.
Right?
She does have everything.
I'm like, wow. There are women like that out there. And it really feels great to be part of an organization like this, where there are women with similar stories who are saying, look at us now. We made it.
One of the ladies that's been involved with Girls on Fire for a long time, I never knew that she was abused beforehand, and it only came out last year, and I've known her for a very long time. So we all have our little secrets, and
we do.
One of the other people that ladies that I interviewed said, get those secrets out there. When it's a secret, it's not good for you. Get it out in the open.
Once you get it out, that's when you can receive the adequate support and the help that you need.
Absolutely.
And the thing is, there is help.
There is help. There's a lot of organizations.
There is help. And we always feel like there is no one there. There is help.
There is.
And there's always somebody you can turn to say, I'm going through this.
Yeah, talk.
It helps.
Thank you very much, Kea. It was lovely to see you again.
And great seeing you again.
Great, I'm going to give you a hug. Thank you so much. It is
doing some amazing work. You're doing.
I'm a girl on fire. I'm not a victim. A girl on fire. I'll stand my ground. Girl on fire. I've made a choice. I stand proud. I'm a girl on fire. I'm a mother, a daughter, a sister, a friend. I'm every woman. I have taken up arms and I choose to defend all that I hold dear. Independent and strong, you will not keep me down. You can't break me. I'm a girl on fire. I'm not a victim. A girl on fire. I'll stand my ground. Girl on fire. I've made a choice. I stand proud. I'm a girl on fire. Countless hours on the range, I am responsibly armed. I am your equal. I've empowered myself. I have practiced and trained. Fear won't control me. With my sisters in arms, we will make ourselves heard. We'll stand together. I'm a girl on fire. I'm not a victim. A girl on fire. I'll stand my ground. Girl on fire. I've made a choice. I stand proud. I'm a girl on fire. We're girls on fire. We're not victims. We're girls on fire. We'll stand our ground. Girls on fire. We're gonna